Hello everyone, welcome to episode 23. Now don't look at the board, it says lasagna, but we're not going to there. Now, episode 23, because 22 is still happening. It's coming to Christmas, we're going to do a bit of pork. We're going to actually make our own hams. They don't cure them here for me, so I got to cure them myself. So I went to my pork butcher, I got a full leg here. Let's get a look at it now. Got my nice big chopper. And here is our lovely big full leg of pork. This thing is just monstrous. It weighs almost 11 kilos. With this, we're going to cut it up a little bit. We're not going to cure this, is one thing. I do not have anything big enough that would take this as one. I'm going to go 1 and 2, and then we'll keep this bottom bit. This gives me an excuse to use T's favourite knife. This is my chopper. I reckon about there and about there, just this side of the tattoo, and we're just going to go down. And that's why we need a nice big long knife. We get nice cuts the whole. And that's why we need a nice big. So this we'll tie up and make one. Right about there for number 2. Alright, what's going to be ham. Number 1, we'll just trestle that up and tie it up and make it look lovely and nice. It is a big one. So when you're curing your meat, we do this all by weight. Weight is the easiest way to do it. And the ratios, sort of how we measure to make our cure, is done by the same. It's done by weight. So we need to weigh each of these, see what they are, and that will tell us how much cure we need. Remember these numbers. First one is 4067. Next one is 3587. And the last piece, 3037. Now, like I said, we do this all based on weight. Our recipe for our cure: 1,000 grams of pork. We get 30 grams of salt, 15 grams of sugar, and 2.5 grams of Prague powder. Now it's Prague powder number 1, not number 2. So for each of these, then we'll multiply that up. I'll do the math here quickly. I'll put it on the bottom here somewhere, and you can get the formula. Right, we got the calculator out. We did the math. Like I said about the ratios, it's 3% salt, 1.5% sugar, 0.25% Prague powder. That's the ratio for this cure per 100%. So that means for this one we need 122 grams of salt, 61 grams of sugar, and 10 grams of the Prague powder. This one we need 107 grams of salt, 53 grams of sugar, 9 grams of Prague powder. And this one we need 91 grams of salt, we need 45 grams of sugar, and we need 8 grams of Prague powder. So we'll quickly weigh those out and then we'll come back. So first one, 112 grams of salt, 61 grams. I use brown sugar for this stuff. The Prague powder, this is the stuff that you have to be very careful with. There's 10 grams on the money. Batch number 2, 107 grams, 53 grams of brown sugar, and 9 grams of the Prague powder. So we'll go a bit slower this time. And we'll go batch number 3, 91 grams, 45 of the sugar, and 8 grams. And that is batch number 3 done. And all we're simply going to do now is get in with a spoon and give these a good mix. That's those all made up now. These are the biggest bags I have. This will just fit no more. We are going to try and see if we can get these in. Well, you want to go? You want to go big to small or small to big? You want to see me do well first and then struggle, or you want to see me struggle and then do well?
The small ones first.
Right, so all we're going to do with this, we're going to stick it in our bowl. So you'll see how that'll tie up later on. We're not going to tie them now because I just need to get them into the bags. Let's take our mix here and just cover it. And then just rub it in. We're going to make sure we get every part of it covered. We're going to turn it over. We're going to roll it around. Make sure that as much as possible is getting in. This is where it gets fun. I got to get all this into this. Get in there. And try not to knock off Too much of that rub. And any rub that's left behind. That is number 1 in the bag. So that's 3 kilos. T's like, oh yeah, think you're big, man. Number 2, we're just gonna take it over. Number 3. This is gonna fit in here. I'm gonna be the winner. T's gonna be the loser. Right, here comes the fun part. I'm gonna seal these up. You have to try and keep the seal clean. You have to try and keep the seal right. See it's sucking down. Now the sugar and the salt's already starting to work. We might have to press the seal button if the juice gets too high. It did. I mean, no one said this was easy. Right, we'll put these in the fridge. Now it's a day per a day per 3/4 of an inch thickness. So about 8 days. They'll just sit like this, and you'll see how much juice comes out. Right, welcome back for part 2. Now it's been 7 days. 7 days, so our pork is in the fridge. It's ready to go. Now, if you look over here today, we have a special guest. A second oven. What we're going to do today, we're going to do 2 ways, or pork 2 ways. Not 2, we're going to do 2 different glazes. Is actually what we're going to do. We're going to do the Josh Wiseman style, which, if you look, sort of mustard, brown sugar, honey. We'll come back in a minute. And Jimmy Oliver also had another one, which was black pepper and marmalade. So those are the 2 we're going to try. We're going to cook 2 different pieces. One in this oven, one in this oven. I actually just keep this for Christmas, just for keeping the roast potatoes hot. That's the only reason I have it, no reason I use it. So we'll get the pork into there, we'll get the pork into here. We'll wait about an hour, then we'll start to glaze, and then we'll go for it. So we'll get the pork out. So this is the bit we're going to use for our taste. Now, if you push it, it's got a little bit firmer. It just tells you all the juice and all the water has come out of it, out of the meat. We'll open this up, and then we're just going to cut it in half. Piece in here, I'll whack it into there. You can just see the juice there. See all that there? That's what we're pulling out. All that is what we've pulled out. So the difference has been cured. Josh Wiseman, his was nice. We bit through here. Mine doesn't look just as nice, but it will be tasty. So if you look there, you can actually see a bit of the ham, but we will just cut. What way should we cut this? We're going to try make it look a bit more like a ham. So actually we'll just tie that bit up there. This one will just go in. Now I'm not an expert in tying knots. That's T's department. So we're just going to try and settle that in the middle. We'll just and that should do that. See that nice sort of shape there? There's your sort of cut. We'll just cut down through this. We'll just put it in for now. Like that's going to hold. We'll just put it in like that for now. Big one goes in the bottom. Now I've set these. We're looking for a finished temperature internal of about 63 degrees. I've set this about 180. Realistically, it's got to get to about 150 because of the Chinese ovens. You want to run about 150 to start with. Then after an hour, we'll pull them out and we will start to glaze. So, 1 hour. See you in an hour. Right, the time's almost up. Now, for when I said we're using black pepper and marmalade, this is as close as I can get the marmalade. It's not quite marmalade, but it should be good enough. The other one we're going to use honey, a brown sugar, and our mustard. So our mustard, split our half a cup of brown sugar, and a 1/4 cup of good honey. Now with this, all we're going to do is mix. That's it. Here we go. Here's our glaze. It's ready to go. Look at that. Doesn't that just sound good? I'll have this one out too. And all we're going to do now is just put a quick temp to see what they're like. We're aiming for, what did I say, 64? 63 in the middle, which is 145. Okay, this one's got a way to go. We're only getting 115. It's not ready yet. It needs a bit more. This one still has a wee while to go. Yeah, it's just almost there. We'll put it back in for a little bit yet. We're gonna lift our small one out because I think it's just about ready. Yeah, look at that colour. Oh yes, she's ready. She's well ready. Let's put on a little bit of black pepper, just over the top, as it falls down, of course, but it'll mix in with the marmalade as we put that in. This is our sort of, ooh, that smells good. Our marmalade, we just pour that over the top. Sorry, just spoon it over it. And we'll get a wee bit more black pepper just to sit in the marmalade. And now we'll put this one back in, just till it tacks up a little bit. Now we'll test and check our other one. Oh, it's looking much better now. Oh, do you know, I think we'll check the glaze. So right about now we will just take off. We'll just take off the string, and then we're just going to simply baste this on. And about every 15 minutes we can take it back out. Oh, we can take it back out and just baste it again. Now, Big Josh, he takes off the skin. I'm going to leave the skin on. I like the skin. And now back in she goes. Still going. We'll pull it out again. It's just getting tacky. So all we're going to do is just take our spoon. I don't think we need much more of that. We'll take a little bit more and just drizzle over. Bit of jizzle drizzle. So that's from the Grand Tour. I was watching it the other day. And we can take up those juices too, just from around. That smells actually very nice. That orange and the sort of, you know, the black pepper. So we'll go back in. We're just wanting this glaze just to tighten up. So we'll knock it back on to both sets. Let's pull this out. And there you can see the glaze is starting to set on this. So again, we'll just paint on a bit more. This has been the one I've used before. I quite liked it at Christmas time. So we're just going to let that come out and let it rest. Just want to baste this one more time with these juices. That looks fabulous. Right, this one's done, it's ready to go. We're going to lift the other one out, and then while this one, cut this one, that one can rest. For this one, we'll just let that sit there for a few minutes. This is just because I'm genuinely curious about this marmalade one. We'll put him there for now. Look at the steam coming off that. We're going to bring out our big carving knife this time. And then just come down and cut our slices. We can just take a slice. Off the front. Now for a taste test. Really simple. We're going to go for the new kit in town first, the marmalade. Let's get a little bit of that. I do like the way the orange comes through, the sweetness. You see the fat's a bit thicker there too. This is our normal sort of mustard, honey and brown sugar. It's got a different richness to it, different flavour. I like both. Alright, you can decide which one you want to go with. Say, just try the marmalade. The marmalade and black pepper, very, very nice. This is old school. Everyone's had it before. Also very nice. Have a try, see what you think. See you soon.